My name's Raegan Bond. I'm a partner at Dunsky Energy Consulting. I'm here with two of my colleagues today to talk about some recent exciting announcements in the electric vehicle sector. Jeff Turner, our clean mobility lead, and Moe Kabbara, a consultant in our clean mobility practice. So Jeff and Mo, recently Ford Canada announced a nearly $2 billion investment to begin producing 5 models of electric vehicles at their Oakville, Ontario plant starting in 2024. And the federal and Ontario governments pledged up to $500 million for this as well. And then over in Quebec, the provincial government has indicated that it plans to take a stake in the entire vehicle manufacturing chain through a $1.4 billion investment for the production of electric vehicles and vehicle parts, in particular lithium-ion batteries. So I'm sure you'll agree with me that these represent a major commitment to the auto sector from both federal governments, provincial governments, and the industry, particularly in the context of a green economic recovery from this pandemic. So Mo, let's start with you. What do these announcements mean, not just for EV manufacturing, but for the Canadian economy as a whole and the individual sectors that contribute to that value chain?
Obviously, this is a very exciting news for Canada's automotive sector. It's really a step in the right direction to really get Canada on that track to future-proof one of the most important manufacturing industries in our country. Other countries like France and Germany are investing billions because they see the long-term economic benefits, and not just for the vehicle manufacturer itself, but also for other parts of the value chain. You pointed out to batteries, which is a really big one. So for Canada, the benefits can be more than just preserving what we do, which is manufacturing vehicles, but also getting into new areas in the supply chain, which is really added value manufacturing on the battery side. So the battery supply chain presents a unique opportunity all the way from mining of the minerals like lithium, nickel, and cobalt, processing that into higher value chemicals like lithium hydroxide, actually making the components of the battery, like the cathode and the anode, putting that into a battery cell, packaging that into a battery pack, and then actually integrating that into an EV. And there's a lot of value there throughout this value chain. So we're currently looking at how Canada can actually participate in the global chain and what are some strategic advantages that Canada have. And off the bat, I can say, Canada is the only jurisdiction in the Western Hemisphere with economic reserves of lithium, nickel, and cobalt, which are the critical minerals of the cathode, which is the highest value component of the battery cell. So I think this is a really exciting opportunity for Canada from an economic development perspective to really help Canada future-proof its existing industry, but also add additional activities and job creation in manufacturing overall.
And Jeff, over to you. How do you think these announcements will help accelerate the adoption of electric vehicles in Canada, and how might it impact EV policy going forward?
Yeah, that's a great question, because I think on the surface, these announcements might come across as less about accelerating EV adoption and more focused on, helping Canada catch up to the rest of the world in terms of actually producing electric vehicles here. But there are a number of ways that building a local EV industry in Canada can contribute to accelerated EV adoption here. We do a lot of projects for clients, whether they're municipal governments, other levels of government, utilities, where we're trying to understand the potential adoption of electric vehicles going forward. And we have a model that we use, our EV adoption model, that can forecast the likely adoption in different scenarios. And often the focus there is more on measures like providing financial incentives, deploying charging infrastructure, and getting a sense of to what extent those measures can accelerate adoption. But our modeling results have often showed that it's really important to get a handle on vehicle supply. And in fact, there's a heavy constraint on adoption right now in the industry due to a lack of availability of EVs in Canada. So we actually just published a report a few weeks ago with the federal government where we studied the actual availability of EVs and found only 2/3 of dealerships in Canada don't even have a single EV in stock. And that's a really important barrier to adoption of EVs. So right on the surface, this announcement of Ford investing a significant amount of money into the development of new EVs here in Canada, that bodes really well for providing Canadians with a broader array of vehicles that can meet their needs. And I think it's a really helpful signal that the industry overall is becoming more competitive. But more broadly, I think on the policy side, this is also a really great sign that we're seeing a broader spectrum of players at the table in terms of supporting EV adoption. So whether that's across the political spectrum or a broader array of industry players who are now really trying to move Canada forward on EV production, that's really going to help on the policy side and help Canada move forward with some aggressive targets in supporting policies.
So these two announcements are two of just many exciting announcements in a fast moving sector. I'm curious what else you guys are keeping your eye on and what you're excited about coming down the pike. Mo, maybe start with you.
Yeah, I mean, we mentioned batteries. Battery manufacturers from Europe, from Asia, are going to be looking at North America, and they're going to be coming here. So I'm really excited to see, how Canada can actually make sure to attract some of those battery manufacturers and make sure that we're actually participating in this global value chain. But also on the vehicle manufacturer side, vehicle manufacturers from more mature electric vehicle markets like in Asia and Europe might look to enter the North American market with those vehicles specifically. So I'm excited about those as well in terms of how the North American vehicle manufacturing market develops over the next few years.
Great. Jeff?
Yeah, I'm always really excited to keep an eye on new product announcements. I think the pace of new announcements has been accelerating over the past few years, and it's only this trend is continuing. So I'm really excited, especially with some new products that we're expecting in new vehicle segments. We do a lot of work with government and corporate fleets that rely on a lot of pickup trucks, and I think we'll be seeing more announcements of electric pickup trucks even in the next few weeks. So that's pretty exciting.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much for joining me today, to both of you, and for sharing your insights. And to those of you who have joined us online, thank you for joining us. And if you have any questions about these announcements or the work that Jeff and Mo referenced that we've done, or how we can help your organization, please feel free to reach out and connect with us on LinkedIn or via our website.